All right, so we're back for another episode of Creators Talking, and this one is more of a fun show because I've been a collector of physical media, Blu-ray, DVDs, and even good old VHS going back to my teenage years because I love film and I love collecting them, and I love, well, we'll get into that, but recently a bit of information came out about the whole physical media scene, which I thought, well, this warrants discussion. And I thought, well, there's only one person I can really think to talk to about this. He's a man whose physical media collection makes mine look minuscule. Um, in fact, well, we'll get into it, but he's a man who's just shy of 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, a former partner in crime on an old show we used to do together called The Bargain Bin. He is the one and the only Bristolian Dave.
Woo! That was a
Hey,
hell of an intro, mate.
yeah, well, it's all praise, I promise you.
Yeah, yeah.
And for the record, it is good to talk to you again after so long. For those who don't know, Dave and I were partners in crime on the CG UK Bargain Bin, which it feels like a lifetime ago now, doesn't it?
It does. It does. I can't even remember. It's got to be what, 2 years now?
Yeah, something
Something
like
like
that. Two
that. Yeah.
years. For those who don't know, we did used to do the stream together talking about crowdfunded comics, specifically CG UK stuff. But unfortunately, as is the case with most things, life gets in the way. Uh, I mean, I was made redundant from my job and had to start something new. And then, because of the intro to that job running over, I missed the final show, which still pisses me off to this day. I think Rob had to start a new job. Aria ran out of time because of commitments he had at home. I can't remember what it was with you, Dave. I think you had a job to start as well, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone at the same time seemed to be
yeah.
moving on to something new.
And it was a damn shame because we used to have a good laugh.
Oh yeah.
But well, it's nice to have you back because, like I said, you were the one person I thought this would be perfect to talk with Dave about. But we'll get to that in a moment. But first of all, who was Dave before he took an interest in movies?
Oh God, we're going back a bit now.
Yes, we are.
Getting on. Um, to be fair, Dave's always been into movies. I could tell you when it started, and in terms of my love for physical media. So this is way back when I was like 10, 11.
Yeah.
It would be going around the car boot sales with my granddad. So he'd
Ah.
give me some pocket change, and then it'd be like, go find something you want, and I'd always end up picking some VHS up. It always ended up being like horror movies though, which was really weird for my age because a lot of the sellers were like, "Did we get that to him?" And that's how I found one of my favorite horrors, Nightmare on Elm Street, of course.
Yeah. When
Um,
I used to spend school holidays with my grandmother, who's long deceased now, rest in peace, Gran. She used to take me to the local video rental shop round the corner from where she lived, and she'd let me get all the 18 rated ninja movies. And the clerk, the seller, wouldn't even bat an eyelid when she said, "Oh, these are for my grandsons to watch." And it was some of the best times because we used to watch shed loads of movies at that sort of time. I mean, I assume it obviously was. No, you just answered that. So, was it anything else besides horror movies you collected on VHS?
yeah, a bit of everything. I had quite a collection. Obviously being a kid, it was a lot of kid stuff as well. So I had like Mask, like a cartoon series on there, like a lot of the Disney stuff, of course.
Mm.
Um, Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's where I fell in love with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Got this two video cassette with three movies on it. Had was it uh what was the films? Bloodsport was the one
Hmm.
I wore out the most.
Oh yeah.
Nowhere to Run and Kickboxer, and yeah, just that started something completely different. But yeah,
Do you
that was good.
do you still have any of the VHSs?
I've got a couple of VHS that are like not available in any other format,
Mm,
but there's not a lot anymore that are kind of like that. It's a lot more the niche stuff because a lot
yeah,
of the stuff, to be fair, ended up making it to DVD. Um,
because there's one VHS that I've got left, and I've had this since I was a kid. Um, and when I moved out, I found out my parents were going to chuck it out because it was in the rubbish pile. And I went, "Oh no, you're not chucking this out." And
Oh, Transformers the movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
for all the young children watching who don't know what a VHS cassette looked like, there you go. I've always got fond memories of when I first showed this to my son when he was, I forget how old he was, but the Michael Bay Transformers had come out, and I said to him, "If you want to see the Transformers, the movie we had when I was a kid," and I put it on for him, and I'll never forget this to this day. He got to the bit where Laserbeak flies back after spying on the Autobots, and Soundwave transforms to play back the recording, and he goes to me, "Daddy, what did he just turn into?" I went, "It's a cassette player, mate." And he said, "What's a cassette player?" And I just thought, "Oh, Jesus Christ, take me back to the 80s and leave me there."
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's one of the fond memories I have of that. And yes, that's why I've always kept that VHS, because I couldn't bring myself to throw it away. And I'd imagine you've probably still got some absolute gems besides what you've just said, haven't you?
What, on VHS?
Mm.
Oh God. To be fair, a lot of it's in storage now because I've got it on like other formats. I kept my Van Damme stuff, of course. And I kept some niche horror stuff. But yeah, that's all the way in storage, unfortunately. I don't even have a VHS player at the moment. I need to find one and buy one because my last one broke. So it's
Yeah,
like
it's not
this is the
surprising the
problem.
age of them. Yeah. So, do you remember when you first started getting DVDs? And here's a tricky one. Do you remember the first DVD you ever bought? Because I can remember what my first one was.
Ooh, okay, so DVDs, to be fair, was I think around the same time I was, a couple of years later, the VHS, because when I was 11, 12, that was early 2000s. So
Yeah.
obviously the DVD was out by then. So once people started selling it cheaper, that's when I started getting some of that. I can't remember the first DVD I actually bought because I'm pretty sure I just went for a phase of upgrading stuff that I already had. So just rebuying stuff. I can remember the first Blu-ray I've ever bought, if that was a
Oh,
question you were going to
yeah.
ask.
Go on then. What was
Um,
the first Blu-ray? I'm
so
curious.
it's a Jason Statham film, In the Name of the King.
Ah,
Yes, that was the first ever. Not the best film in the world,
no.
but like when as a young dude, swords and sorcery and that sort of stuff,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
yeah, and Jason Statham. So I was like, yeah,
yeah.
all right.
I can remember my first DVD that I got, and I remember the second as well, because I was one thing I love about DVDs, and we'll get into this shortly, is special features. That was the shit I loved DVDs for, because I developed a fascination with behind the scenes material. And the first one I got, I remember this, was Ronin, the Robert De Niro film, because I love the fact that he hadn't had an alternative ending on it. The director's commentary which was the first one I ever listened to by the late John Frankenheimer, was a fantastic commentary. And I know some people are a bit iffy about commentaries because you've got to listen to them while you're watching the film, but it's never been a problem for me. And I remember the second one was Blade, because me and a friend had seen that in the cinema, and like a pair of idiots afterwards, we were trying to do the moves in the car park before we had a drink. And I remember thinking, I've got to see that, because, again, not only do you have a good behind the scenes and a commentary from various people, you also had the alternative ending, which showed what could have been an interesting number two. But obviously, Blu-rays are the thing now. But I'm curious, what are the rare DVDs that you think you have? And I ask this because a lot of the ones now, they just simply delete them. And sometimes they don't even put them onto Blu-ray, because obviously I assume they don't sell very well on DVD. So I'm curious what ones you have you'd think would be some of the better ones of your collection.
See, that's an interesting one
Yeah,
because
I've got some here to show off as well.
oh, good. uh, yeah, that's a really interesting one because the way I collect, I've never really sort of looked at stuff in terms of like what's rare, what's not rare. It's just whether or not I have the movie in order to watch it. There are some that I actually don't own anymore that were worth a lot more money than I thought. There was one. It was a BBC TV series. I think it was called The Chinese Detective.
Okay. I don't know
and
that one.
I traded that in. It was like I got like 20 quid for it, which was
Mm.
really weird because I picked it up for a quid in the charity shop. That was nice. But yeah, I've gone for a purge recently, so it's been interesting to find out what's actually worth money and what's not.
Well, I can show you some of the ones I've got, which
Yeah.
I've narrowed it down to 3 for sake of time. So this was one I saw in the cinema.
Oh, nice. Event
Yeah,
Horizon.
yeah. I haven't got it on
Packaging
Blu-ray
is so
yet.
cool.
Oh, this is I got it purely for the packaging.
Yeah.
But also, this is where it gets a bit disappointing because obviously you got the commentary by the director. It was okay.
Mhm.
The deleted scenes again were okay. And the making of was again okay because they only got to talk to one one cast member, which I thought, oh, I would have loved to have heard from the other ones involved. Then this one's a bit different. This is the US import, and it's the special edition of Sin City.
Nice.
Yeah. Now the reason I got this because obviously they did that silly shit they used to do where it was the double dipping, where you get the release with it was vanilla, no special features, and then you get the special edition which had all the stuff on it. And part of the thing that I found fascinating about it was you get a reprint of the
Oh, nice.
the Marv graphic novel, which I thought was pretty cool. And obviously, I haven't got an American player anymore, so really I can't play this. But I've kept it because I just thought it would be silly to get rid of it for that reason. So I've kept hold of it because it just looks really nice. And then this one's a funny one.
Deep Star 6.
Yeah. So it was directed by Sean Cunningham, obviously of Friday the 13th fame.
Mm-hmm.
And I love underwater films, underwater sci-fi, and obviously this is that with a bit of monster as well. But I thought, oh, this will be cool because it's got a commentary by Sean Cunningham on it and the special effects producer. Thought, oh, that'd be really awesome to listen to because it's Sean fucking Cunningham. No, it was boring. The guy barely spoke in it, and I just thought, oh, well, that's a fucking shame, but still a cool film. But I got that from a company on eBay and it didn't turn up when it was supposed to. So I emailed them, said, guys, this has not turned up. Have you got a tracking number or something for it? They refunded me instead. I thought, okay, that's weird. And the film turned up the next day. So I got it for free.
Fair.
Yeah. Now, I know, because you've said about this many times before, that you do go to the charity shops for DVDs. Have you ever found some gems in there?
Yeah. Yeah. So anyone who frequents my channel will be able to tell you the amount of stuff I pick up in charity shops is it's ridiculous to say the least. But it's like it. The more you go to, the more likely you are to find stuff. So I've managed in the past to find like giant DVD box sets for a couple of quid, which are like if you want them brand new, they're like 50, 60 quid easy.
Yeah.
I found steelbooks, again for a couple of quid. So yeah, it's always like little bits and pieces. I've never because I know some people find like that one rare item that's worth hundreds of pounds, and I'm like, charity shops have changed unfortunately, where they look up everything online now.
Yeah.
So they check these things, so they make sure first of all. But every now and again, something slips through, and you're lucky enough to find it. I found 4Ks for a couple of quid, which have only just come out. So yeah, it's kind of I pick up a lot of crap too. There's a ton of stuff I pick up which kind of negates any value I get from the good stuff I pick up. So it's yeah. But I've gone through a big change on my ethos in charity shops as well, where I used to be anything and everything I didn't have I was gonna grab and keep, and now it's like I've cut back a lot. Put it this way, I don't think in the last month I've actually gone to a charity shop to have a look for DVDs or Blu-rays. I know. For me, it's unbelievable.
Well, on the show, I used to joke back when we did Bargain Bin that because of the amount of money Dave had spent in charity shops, you'd think he'd have cured cancer or something by now. But yeah, obviously we've now, well, as I say now, we've long since made the switch to Blu-rays. have you got any favorite Blu-rays you've bought over the years?
I do. This one actually, I suppose, it kind of fits the rare vibe as well. So this is Lion King trilogy,
Ah,
but it's limited to. There's a number somewhere. Hold on, let me take this off because then you can have a proper look. Ah, there we go. Limited to 3,000.
okay.
So that is number 91.
Oh, sweet.
So within 100, which is nice. And you open it up. It's got
Oh, cool.
disc edition. So it's got the soundtrack for the Lion King theater show. It's got the soundtrack for that as well, and then the Blu-ray collection. I don't think there's anything behind that. No, it's been a while since I got it out. So yeah, this was really cool. That I got off eBay, and it's one of my favorite things. It goes up on my shelf. So there's that. So I am a big fan of that. You might be able to see, well, not anymore because it's got dark over there on top of there. It's the head of Electro from Amazing Spider-Man movies.
Oh,
Jamie
cool.
Foxx.
Yeah.
It used to light up and everything. It used to like do all the electric around his brain. I dropped it, unfortunately. So I like to keep it there because I can see it. But as soon as I get it in my hands, it's just like it's not good anymore.
So, who do you think nowadays makes the best? What company makes the best Blu-rays that are out there? And there's a reason I'm asking this. See if you have the same opinion as me on this one.
Are we talking what, like picture quality, or in terms of like packaging, content?
Packaging and content. I've got my favourite because I'm about to show them off. So I'm going to see if yours is the same as mine or not.
I don't know. It's a tough one because I like things like this. It's like this is Gonjiam Asylum. So this was a HMV exclusive. Because HMV always seem to do nice exclusives.
Yeah, they do.
With, like photo cards, you get a booklet in the movie. So I like kind of things like that. So it's not exactly basic packaging. But in terms of the actual company, I don't know. Arrow tend to do some nice sets.
Thank you. That was what I was hoping you'd say. Yeah, because I love collecting the Arrow special editions, especially if they're ones of films that I have a particular love for. And I'm going to show some off here just because I can.
Yeah.
So favorite one of them.
Tremors.
Yeah. Nice. I remember the first time I saw this was on BBC One at 9 o'clock. And that was back when I used to watch TV. Shows how old I am. And then, of course,
RoboCop. Nice.
Yeah. And this I got purely luck because I went into HMV on a whim to see if they got one. It wasn't on the shelf. And I said to the lady working there, I said, look, I'm just trying my luck. I don't suppose you've got any special edition. And she come out with 4 of them that were out back. So I was like, I'll have that. Thank you very much. And then this one's more recent.
Oh, Dark City.
Yeah. Now, the thing is
to upgrade that.
Oh, well, this is going to be an eBay job if you're looking for it, because everywhere else of this edition sold out in a heartbeat. And what they've done with this is, again, it's fantastic with special features. And then finally, well, I had to do it.
Oh, Roadhouse, yeah.
Roadhouse. Yeah. Now, the extras on Roadhouse are probably the best of the lot of them, I reckon, because, well, we'll get into it in a little while, but it's a thing I've noticed nowadays, which we'll get into shortly with special features on more modern releases, is that I find them very, very lacking. But again, I'll lead into that because the main reason I thought you'd be good to have on to discuss this is the article that came out. Well, several articles that came out, and I'll paraphrase it in this summary here, which I've got in front of me. In 2025, sales of physical media, including 4K Blu-ray discs, and DVDs, continued to decline, with total revenue falling below $1 billion in the US market. This decline is largely attributed to the rise of video streaming services, However, some retailers and consumers are seeing a resurgence in physical media with a renewed interest in the quality of collector's aspect of physical formats. And they point to key trends and why declining sales are happening because certain streaming services grow, but also retailers, especially the supermarkets, have taken Blu-rays and DVDs off their shelves. Now it's a shame to me, but it sort of leads into the argument that is going around a lot now. The streaming services are having a detrimental effect on the film industry as a whole, because, for example, most movies at the cinemas aren't making their budget back because people are going, you know what, I'll just wait for that to come on streaming services. And as a result, they don't buy the Blu-ray or DVD or whatever either. I'm just curious, what's your take on the whole thing? Because obviously you're a collector like me, and I found the article a bit hard to sort of take in because, like I said, Dark City sold out like that. Now, I'm partly thinking it's because more people have got an interest in the older stuff, like I have, because let's face it, a lot of the movies coming out now are shit. But I thought, again, you're the best person to talk to about it because you're a fellow collector. So, what do you think?
Yeah, so you have to be honest about these things. Physical media is declining. It's declining in movies. It's declining in video games. Strangely, in music, is making a little bit of a comeback at the moment. Like CDs are becoming slightly more popular, and vinyl is also popular the way they're marketing it. For example, HMV are doing very well. They've been hitting very good profits the last couple of years. Bounced back from when they went into administration.
Yeah, I remember that.
And a lot of that is because they have also diversified. So they've gone into like more vinyl. They've also got a lot of what you would call like merchandise, for example. Tons of that. Supermarkets, like you said, they've taken it all out pretty much. I think in my locals there's like you get a couple of shelves and then there's usually some budget DVDs or something down the bottom with a couple of the new titles on there. That's it. That's what you get. So overall it is definitely declining, and I think it's becoming a niche. And it will stay around as a niche. So it's titles like Dark City, for example, that have that following. Like Dark City's got a cult following.
Absolutely.
Like people love that movie. Like they want to own that movie. So obviously that release, like you said, sold out. But what's going to struggle is stuff that doesn't have that following. So places like Arrow, where you've got like the more niche titles that come out, will continue doing all right. But it's the mass-produced stuff that's sort of struggling, I think. And to be fair, even with me, like I've got over 8,000 different titles on physical media. I know it's ridiculous. Wow. That's after getting rid of a load of stuff, man. Even I've like slowed down on stuff and like realized that some of the stuff, linking back to what you said about obviously modern movies not being as good quality. Some of the stuff coming out now, you don't always just want to own. So if you don't want to own it, you're not going to get the physical media sales for it. And then the company is going to look at it like, oh, okay, people aren't buying physical media for any of the new titles. So all it's going to be is, again, the niche stuff, the backfill, the older titles. So it'll stay around. It's just any collector has to face the fact that it is becoming more and more of a niche.
Yeah. Because one of the things I've noticed with modern releases, shall we say, is that when it comes to them putting special features on their products, again, which is one of the things I really love, as you know, they're either none on there at all, or they're what I would look at and think they're contractually obligated to put on. And I'll give you a couple of examples because I've got them here. So let's see. So the first one is Heretic. So this is the Hugh Grant horror movie. Now, the only special feature on this is the commentary from the writer, director, and the writer. You think, okay, that's all right, I suppose. Then you get to Wicked, which I know it's not my cup of tea, but
One
let's
of the
see.
biggest movies of the
It was,
last
yeah.
couple of years.
But special features, deleted and extended scenes. Okay, that's cool. The making of, it doesn't say how long it is, but okay, that's good. A sing along, well, each their own, I guess. Commentary from the director, and then commentary from the two main stars, which you think, okay, cool. I appreciate that sort of thing. Again, not my cup of tea, but if you're a fan of the film and you want to listen to those sort of things, more power to you. But then you look at an older release. Obviously, I'm going to use this as we've just talked about it. Roadhouse. And I'll go down to the special features. And, well, there they are.
Yeah.
Now, that speaks volumes to me. But again, what do you think? Do you think this is minimal effort? Or do you think it's just a case that they don't really bother it anymore because of the declining sales?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. So I think when it comes to older movies, I think back then I think they actually just made a lot more extras
Mm-hmm.
that they could include now on the discs. There's still a lot of extras to movies that still haven't been seen, like
Yeah.
interviews or whatnot. When it comes to the newer movies, yeah, unfortunately, I don't think, and I'm going to generalize here, I don't think the younger generation is too much into it because a lot
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
time, a lot of this stuff, the interviews, the commentary, the deleted scenes, it all ends up online, ends up on YouTube, ends up
Yeah.
on wherever, and it's either used by the companies as extra incentive to get people to watch their movies, or it's uploaded by someone random, and you'll find it on TikTok a couple of months
Yeah.
later or something.
Yeah.
So I think it's a case of they don't see the point of doing it much anymore unless it's a film they think has that fan following. So like Wicked, like I said, like not your cup of tea, but it's got that fan following. Like
Mm-hmm.
there are people that absolutely adore the movies, the books, the theater show, and they will consume. So I think in that case, that makes sense that they've got the extras. But yeah,
Mm.
when it comes to that Hugh Grant movie, I've not seen it yet. They were like, well, there's no point, is there? Like, because
Mm.
people aren't going to consume it. And if you type, I'm sure if you spend a couple of minutes typing in on YouTube, you'll probably find the interviews already anyway, already uploaded.
Yeah.
So I think it sucks because I always like watching, depending on what type of movie it was, like with like comedies, for example, I love watching the bloopers because
Yeah.
a
Oh,
lot of times
absolutely.
the
Yeah.
bloopers
Yeah.
can even
Yeah.
be more funny than
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff they come out with on there is great. The interviews are really interesting, especially for anyone who's more interested in the making of the film, like
Mm.
what went on with the actors, like how did they get the character, with the director, how did they choose, like what sort of scenes he wanted and everything for it, writers, etc. Um, but yeah, I don't think the younger generation appreciates it as much, so I don't feel
No.
like they need to.
One of the funniest bloopers I remember was actually a hidden extra on the first X-Men DVD/Blu-ray, and it was, well, I say DVD actually, because I think I put the extras on the Blu-ray. But if you pressed like left or whatever it was on one part of the specials menu, you got a blooper where the X-Men run in front of the camera and stop, but then a guy appears behind them dressed as Spider-Man. And then the crew start laughing. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong movie. I do apologize. And he exits, and everyone just has a good cackle about it. I think stuff like that is funny.
Yeah,
But again, it's kind of lost on the younger audience, I suppose, who really aren't interested in that sort of thing.
yeah, and I think as well that I think the increase of streaming services have
Mm.
also took that away because on streaming services, I think maybe I've seen a couple of times they've added like extras on, but most of the time it's nothing. You get your content and that's it.
Mm.
So I think they look at it like, well, if Netflix and Amazon don't have to do this and add the extra stuff and time to put the disc together, why should we?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What do you think of 4K? Because I've seen a lot of mixed opinions about it, and I'll be totally honest, it's not for me. I really couldn't care less. Uh, but one of the criticisms I saw was because I think they use AI to help improve the picture in certain releases. They did a one for Aliens.
Mm.
I weren't interested in it because I've got Aliens over here, and it's one of my favorite Blu-rays. But I prefer to. Well, how do I put this? I'm happy with a quote unquote standard 1080p picture. I can see what I want to see. Anything else, I think you're just going too, I don't want to say perfect, but too, I don't know, clear, crystal, whatever you want to call it. And also, a lot of these releases are a bit more expensive. So, what do you make of it?
4K is an interesting one because obviously being quite in the community with my YouTube channel and everything, so it's
Mm-hmm.
there are people that are absolute what you call like 4K snobs. So like if it's not 4K, I'm not watching it. Like, and it's like I'm like, okay, well, there's a lot of movies that's never going to get to 4K, so you're going to miss out. For me, I've got a bit of a 4K collection, not much, because what I realized was that even though with 4K, I could see like the little sort of dimples in people's skin and stuff, and I'm like, great, okay, I appreciate that. Um, I didn't find the difference. I think it's coming from different formats. So being video first of all, VHS first
Yeah,
of all,
yeah,
going to DVD, that was a massive jump, like
yeah,
ridiculous jump. Going
yeah.
to Blu-ray was tiny, and then
Because I'll interject here with a quick joke. I remember seeing the DVD, the collector's edition DVD of Highlander, the first one, and the
mhm,
picture was that sharp that at the end, when he's absorbing the quickening, you could see the wires holding him up. It's
yeah,
just like that's why I couldn't see that on the fucking video.
that's it, that's it.
Yeah, but carry on anyway.
But yeah, and then like I said, going from DVD to Blu-ray, there was definitely an improvement. You know, going up to high definition wasn't anywhere near as big as from VHS, and then going up to 4K again, there's an improvement, but it's even less of an improvement than
Mm.
previous. So I was at a point where I'm like, do I spend what's potentially double the amount of money on a film when I'm not going to see that much difference, or do I keep with Blu-ray? So what I've decided for myself is I'm mainly keeping with Blu-ray, uh, and I've even decided because I have so many DVDs, I'm basically not buying DVDs now. I'm buying Blu-ray only. Um, so, like I said, for some people it does make a difference, and if you've got the biggest fat off TV on your room, like you've got like an 80-inch monster like there, like
Yeah.
yeah, do it. Get 4K. I got a 50-inch, and it doesn't make that much difference. It makes a bit of difference, but it's not enough to be like, yeah, I'm gonna spend double or triple the amount on a film.
Mm.
Doesn't need to be. And to be fair, not all 4K quality is actually better than Blu-ray. There has been complaints on some 4K releases where it's like they're like the picture quality is they've ruined it where they've like taken out too much of the grain or added too much stuff
Yes, I've
in
heard
and
that.
um so again you're taking a chance, but so for me I'm like I'll buy a £6 Blu-ray instead of a £15 4K,
Yeah.
and it works the same. It's the same thing. It's physical media. You own it, you've got it, regardless of what format it's on, as long as you can
Mm.
watch it and you're happy with it.
Because you've also got the problem with streaming services in that
Mhm.
um, a particular title will just disappear one day,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I've heard so many people get pissed off about it because I remember one of my sons, he loves disaster movies, and I wanted to show him Dante's Peak because I knew it was on Netflix. And we went on there and it was just gone, and there was no notification it was coming off. And I thought, well, that's shit. I managed to find the um, deleted Blu-ray of it on eBay, but annoyingly, they didn't transfer any of the special features onto it, which I thought, well, that's a shame. But I've got it. Um, and also, when you do want to see a particular movie that's on streaming, 9 times out of 10, even though you're paying for the service, you've got to pay to rent it again. I mean, come on.
Amazon Prime special.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But also, I don't know if you remember this, there are also controversies in the past about services editing particular films
Yeah.
because of quote unquote harmful content in them. I think one of the examples was Back to the Future. They cut out a particular scene of that. I forget which one it was now, but again, I've got that on box upstairs, so fuck you. And also, this was just stupid. I think it was Disney Plus that did this because they've got the film Splash, the Daryl Hannah mermaid film. She runs towards the sea in the buff, and they extended by CG her hair to cover her backside, and it was laughably apparent what they'd done. And you think, it's not, you may own the rights to the film, but realistically it's not your film.
Yeah,
don't touch it. And shit like that annoys me no end. What do you think about that?
yeah, that annoys the crap out of me as well. I'll start from where we started. So I agree completely about how they can just remove stuff when they want streaming services. I wanted to watch on Amazon Prime Justified, the series,
Yeah.
and then I was like, all right, cool, I'll start that next week. I went on and it says leaving in 7 days. I'm like, there's 6 seasons. I can't watch 6 seasons in 7 days. So I was like, all right, cool, I'm not watching it. So yeah. Yeah, there was another in terms of censorship. There was another one with I think it was Gone with the Wind.
Oh yeah.
And because I didn't own it at the time, so I was like, oh. So I went out and bought it on Blu-ray. It cost me like less than a tenner. It's like a special edition. But it's also like you have things now like trigger warnings and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's not like, it's enough to put the age rating, put the synopsis of the movie. So we need to put, you don't need anything. The age rating, because if you're going to put trigger warning, there's no point in the age rating because it tells you 18 means it have like what, strong violence, strong gore, sexual references, or nudity, whatever. And it's like, cool, that's your informed choice there. But some people, for whatever reason, feel the need to put these things on there at the start of the movie, saying this movie is a product of its time, and opinions have changed since. And I'm like, just let me watch the movie. I don't care.
because you guarantee that that's the opinion of the person who's wrote that.
Yeah.
Because, and I'll give you an example, because I've seen this. It was on Aliens. This film contains what was it? An outdated opinion on immigration or something like that. And I know the bit it was talking about. It's a bit where Vasquez says just point and shoot, and Hudson goes, yeah. When she said alien, she thought they meant illegal alien and signed up. And she goes, fuck you, man. Well, first of all, for anybody that's seen that, especially us folks in the UK, that's not an outdated opinion. So I see that. I think, look, fuck off. I don't need you to tell me that bullshit.
Yep.
It's not your place to. Okay. It's the certificate is there. I know what it is. Thank you. I'm going to watch it. Yeah, that cheeses me off no end. Because again, in my mind, yeah, okay, you may own the film, but it's not yours. You don't fucking have the right to do that shit with it.
Yeah.
But a couple more things I wanted to ask you about.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we talked about the physical media, but one thing that's I think is coming under increasing threat is the physical media players.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you have a PS5 like I do.
Yeah.
And one thing that pissed me off, and I think it was last year this happened, Sony released the PS5 Pro, and the console on its own was £700, which is obviously more expensive than the original PS5, which I've got obviously here.
Yeah.
To get the disc drive, you had to pay an extra 80 quid.
Mm-hmm.
And if you wanted the stand, which again came with the original for free, you got to pay an extra 25. So that's what, £805 for the entire package. Now, I know there are still Blu-ray players out there for a fraction of the price. I mean, there's one I saw on Amazon, for example, for like £80, I think.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what I am aware of, what I was aware of, I should correct myself, with the older Blu-ray players, is you cannot update them because a lot of the times they're not built that way because the companies aren't obligated to do that. So therefore, you have a risk with a lot of them that they couldn't play the more up-to-date releases, whereas consoles, you can update them. And the problem we're moving into now with gaming is that I think, and this is certainly demonstrated by the release of the PS5 Pro is that I think companies want to move away from physical media
100%.
for profit, and also to charge what prices they think are appropriate. But it's also, with Sony's case, I think it was to make up for lost money from that god awful fucking team shooter game they made.
Hmm.
I can't think what its name is now.
Oh, yeah. It's not is it Concord?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that the one?
it.
Yeah.
Because for those who don't know, it was a major failure for Sony and cost them in the region of $400 million. And before I let you have your take on this, my wife works in a supermarket and they had copies of the game on the shelves, and they received an order from Unhide to take it off because it was not fit for sale or something like that, which I thought was fucking hilarious. What's your take on that? Because again, I'm a console guy, but because of the way gaming is going, I'm slowly moving away from modern gaming and going into more retro stuff because I think modern games are shit. But again, over to you on that one.
Yeah, so it's kind of all linked, the movies and the games, in the fact that basically companies want to go to a you own nothing, you rent it model.
Yeah.
So with the physical discs, they want to get rid of them
Mhm.
because first of all, it costs them more money to make them and distribute the discs. With a digital download, they do it cheaper. What they don't do is sell it at a cheaper price. They still sell it at
No.
the same price they pay for the discs, so their profit margin is larger.
Mm.
I think when it comes to the consoles, Nintendo will stay around. PlayStation might get one more, I think. But when it comes to Xbox, I think they basically, you'll be lucky if there's an ever Xbox console.
Mm.
Because of the way Game Pass is working now. Although I believe Game Pass is actually losing them a bit of money.
Well, not just that, they did put their prices up recently, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, what's the top tier Xbox console called again?
I don't know. I'm not an Xbox player.
Well, we'll call it the top tier Xbox one.
Yeah,
That went up by about £100 in price, because I think they followed suit from Nintendo, who jacked up all their prices.
yeah.
And obviously, this may date this video, but in today's economy, there aren't a lot of people that can afford that shit. So
No, not at all.
potentially the risk there, unless I'm wrong, of course, is that they buy a cheaper player to watch these movies, but then the day comes it can't be updated because obviously not capable, and they can't play a lot of the newer releases at the time.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm a lot like you in terms of like, so when I was having my clear out of a lot of movies and stuff, I found my older consoles and all my games. So I got all them out. So I got like my PS2 hooked up,
Yeah.
PS3, although that needs replacing because the power button's broken.
Mm.
Got all my games out and everything. So I got all them out now. And I'm like, yeah, it's just fun. In terms of games I play now, it's mainly on the PC. To be
Yeah.
honest, since I got this PC, it's like my first ever gaming PC, and I don't feel like I ever need to go back again.
No, I mean, I'm going a bit off topic here, but fuck it.
Yeah.
I've got a homebrewed Sega Saturn, which has got all of the games ever made for it on the hard drive.
Nice.
And a friend of mine, he's homebrewing a PS2 for me, and he reckons that when it's done, it will have somewhere in the region of 800 to 1,000 games on there. Obviously, taking a few off that I didn't want.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, when it comes to a lot of these modern movies, I think people are just going backwards to discover stuff they've not seen before. That's what
Yeah.
I've certainly done. Do you? Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say there's so many movies and games that there isn't a single person on this planet who's seen and watched or played everything. It's not possible. There is so much to discover, and if you keep in an open mind and you go in and you actually watch something you've never heard of, you'd be surprised how many times you find a film that you might actually like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, do you think Blu-rays would ever fade away if streaming gets any bigger, or is that a small worry?
See, streaming's an interesting one because it's already happening where we got to a point where we have too many streaming services.
Yeah.
People cannot subscribe to them all. So you're seeing things split off and things combined now. I think in America, I think Disney is gobbling up something over there at the moment. I can't remember what it is. So you're getting a lot combined there. Netflix is Netflix. It's the OG of streaming services. It'll do what it does. Like at this point, Netflix is too big to fail. Unfortunately, it's like, despite people, there's been times people are like, cancel your memberships, and then a load of people cancel. It doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect them. They're too big now. Amazon Prime is annoying because you have to pay extra if you don't want adverts. And stuff, which pisses me off. So I think for the older generations, for people like me and you and before, I think physical media will always have its place. Surprisingly, I believe from things I've read that younger people are starting to edge towards physical media more because they are now seeing the effects of not owning things.
Yes.
So I don't feel like it'll ever go away. There won't be another format. There won't be 8K. 4K is as far as it will go. And because after you get to 4K, you might as well just go watch it in the cinema. That's it. So yeah, I don't think it'll ever fade away fully, or at least not until like my generation upwards, so like the millennials sort of go away. So I think the millennials are the last sort of bastion of wanting to own things, but it's definitely getting past. I think it's missed. What's after the millennials? Whatever that one is. Gen Z, is it? Yeah. And then I think Gen Alpha's starting to come back to the physical. So it's weird. It's very weird. But no. To answer your question, no, I don't think it will completely fade away. Not for a long time yet.
So, final question before I end on my usual note. It's been a while since you've done anything on your show, on your channel, physical media related. But you and I are in the same boat now with weight loss journeys.
Yes.
Obviously, you're chronicling that, and good luck to you. I sincerely mean that because, again, I'm in the same boat. When will we see Bristolian Dave get back to all things physical media and do his live show again? Because, dude, I miss it.
I appreciate that, mate.
And I want a fucking invite.
I know. Well, this was a good little test run to see if I can remember how to actually talk on stream. So thank you for that. But yeah, no, I've actually recorded 2 videos. No, three videos on physical media that I need to edit and go up. So they'll go up probably, well, one at least will go up this next week. And then I plan on doing more and more. So what I've realized is with my channel, because like I niched it down quite a lot, there's a lot more stuff I'm into. So physical media, obviously movies is what I've mainly focused on. I'm looking to bring some of the older video game stuff in as well. So I can bring some of that in too. And then I'm hoping to do some gaming streams as well at some point, with the PC. And generally it's going to be, the reason I left the channel name as Bristolian Dave and not Bristolian Dave does this or that is because I want it to be, it's a channel about me. It's a channel about me, my life, the things I'm into. I'm heavily into trading cards as well. Now that's spawned over the last few years. So that'll be something I had on as well. Anything I think can be like, has a big enough audience might get like pulled out and made into another channel if my channel obviously gets successful enough. But yeah, I'm ramping it up again, and it's all coming. So yeah, watch the space.
Excellent. All right. So as my custom is on this channel, we'll finish with the Pivo questionnaire, which is my nod to the late great James Lipton and the Inside the Actor Studio series when it was with us. Dave, what is your favourite word?
Bollocks.
What is your least favourite word?
Cringe.
What turns you on? Can be anything.
Tits. That's the first thing that came to mind.
Okay, I needed that. Thank you. What turns you off?
Bogies.
Okay. What's your favourite curse word?
Retard.
What sound or noise do you like?
Popcorn popping.
What sound or noise do you hate?
People eating with their mouths open.
What profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
I'd like to open a trading card shop.
What profession other than yours would you absolutely not like to attempt?
Ice skater.
And if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You're long overdue. You stayed on Earth a lot longer than we ever thought you would.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find Dave on YouTube at Bristolian Dave, and the same as on Twitter as well. Check him out, because by the looks of things, he's about to ramp his channel back up again. Dave, this has been not only fun, but a good trip down memory lane for me. It's also funny the fact that around you, your room has just progressively gotten darker to the point.
I know. I've got the windows open.
Yeah, so you're sitting in darkness. It's like you're slowly turning into a supervillain, sitting there like this.
I did realise. I was like, should I go turn the light on?
But again, thank you so much for joining me on this. It's been great. Great to nerd out about things we love, and I think that's one of the best things to do sometimes, especially in this day and age.
100%.
So again, thanks very much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Everyone who's joined us, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. So take care.